There is a problem at the center of the artificial intelligence revolution that almost nobody is talking about openly. It is not an algorithm problem or a data problem. It is a physics problem. And understanding it is the only way to understand what comes next. Every major artificial intelligence model that gets released requires more computational power than the one before it. That sounds like a feature. It is becoming a liability. According to the International Energy Agency, data centers consumed around 415 terawatt hours of electricity in 2024, roughly equivalent to the entire annual electricity consumption of France. By 2030, that number is projected to nearly double, with artificial intelligence as the primary driver. AI-specific compute is growing at around 30% per year, 4 times faster than every other sector of electricity demand combined. Microsoft, Google, and Amazon spent an estimated $364 billion on data center construction in 2025 alone. Tech companies now account for 43% of all clean energy power purchase agreements signed globally. They are buying up renewable energy faster than it can be built. Sam Altman has said publicly that the artificial intelligence industry needs breakthroughs in energy production just to keep scaling. Not improvements, breakthroughs. And here is why that is so difficult. Power grids do not operate on software timelines. A new power generation facility takes 5 to 10 years from planning to operation. Transformer lead times, the hardware that steps electricity down from transmission lines to usable voltage, are now measured in years because demand has outrun manufacturing capacity. Goldman Sachs estimates that U.S. data center power demand will grow 160% by 2030. The infrastructure to support that growth simply cannot be built fast enough. The bottleneck on artificial intelligence advancement is not ideas or talent or algorithms. Increasingly, it is electricity. And that is a problem no software update can fix. This is where quantum computing enters the picture and why the two technologies are on a collision course. Quantum computers do not just process information faster. They process it differently at a fundamental level. A classical computer works through problems sequentially. Even with thousands of processors running in parallel, each one is still flipping bits between 0 and 1, evaluating one possibility at a time. Quantum computers operate on qubits, which can exist in multiple states simultaneously through a property called superposition. This allows a quantum system to explore vast numbers of possible solutions at once, not sequentially, but all at the same time. The practical result of this is genuinely hard to convey. Google's Willow chip completed a benchmark calculation in under 5 minutes that would take the fastest classical supercomputer 10 septillion years. That is not 10 times faster or a million times faster. It is a difference so large that the comparison barely makes sense in human terms. And crucially, the specific categories of problems where quantum computing produces these results are molecular simulation, optimization across enormous numbers of variables, and cryptographic calculation. Those happen to be exactly the problems where artificial intelligence currently hits its hardest computational limit. Drug discovery takes 10 to 15 years and costs billions on average, not because researchers lack ideas, but because testing molecular combinations at scale is computationally prohibitive on classical systems. There are more possible molecular configurations than atoms in the observable universe. Quantum computers can simulate molecular interactions directly, running combinations in parallel that would take classical machines longer than the age of the sun to evaluate one by one. Bain and Company estimates quantum computing could unlock up to $250 billion of value for the pharmaceutical industry alone. Climate modeling, financial optimization, material science. The same pattern repeats across every field where the number of interacting variables exceeds what any classical machine can handle. Now, for the part that most people outside the security world have not yet processed, and that may be the most urgent near-term implication of everything we just covered, there is a strategy called harvest now, decrypt later. Nation states and sophisticated adversaries are already collecting encrypted data they cannot currently read. Government communications, financial records, intellectual property, corporate secrets, they are storing it, and they are waiting for quantum computers powerful enough to break current encryption, at which point all of that stored data becomes readable retroactively. A breach that happens in 2032 or 2035 may originate from data that was stolen and stockpiled today. This is not a theoretical future risk. It is a present operational reality. Intelligence officials in the UK have stated it is credible that sophisticated adversaries have already compromised data on nearly all UK citizens in this way. The US NSA and CISA have both issued guidance acknowledging the threat is active. Experts estimate a quantum computer capable of breaking RSA encryption could arrive somewhere between 2028 and the mid-2030s. The range reflects genuine uncertainty, not vagueness. But the Harvest Now threat does not wait for certainty. The risk begins the moment data worth protecting is transmitted using current encryption methods, which is every single day right now. Google has set an internal deadline of 2029 to complete its own migration to post-quantum cryptography, citing this threat specifically. The National Institute of Standards and Technology finalized its first 3 post-quantum encryption standards in August 2024 and is pushing organizations to begin migration immediately. Most have not started. So, where does this leave us? Artificial intelligence and quantum computing are not competing technologies. Artificial intelligence is the defining technology of this decade. Quantum is likely the defining technology of the next one, and eventually the two will merge. Quantum machine learning is an active and well-funded research area right now. When that convergence matures, the systems we currently call artificial intelligence will look the way dial-up internet looks to us today. Same general category, incomparable in practice. The window to understand this technology before it becomes obvious is open right now. It looked exactly this way with artificial intelligence before 2022. Most people waited. That window closed faster than almost anyone expected. If this changed how you're thinking about what comes after artificial intelligence, subscribe and leave a comment. What concerns you more, the energy ceiling or the encryption threat? I want to know where you stand.